Hello. Hey everyone, welcome to this lesson and welcome to this practice. In this one, we're going to do our final project and we're going to make our pretty cool game, right? So I got a few things to talk about before we start the project, so make sure you pay attention because this is really not a hard project, but what I want you to do is to be creative with what you make. All right, so as always, I got the files for you. I got the beginner file, which is going to include all this stuff in here, right? And also I got a complete version, which is going to include the final code essentially in there for you. All right, so with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to explain is the art that you see right here. So this is called ASCII art, and essentially it is created with characters and like words and stuff like that, and it's really cool, and I like these a lot. And they're used and they used to be used a lot in terminal style programs and stuff like that. So this is called an ASCII art, and the way you actually create an ASCII art, or actually the way you include it in your program, is that obviously you want to use the print function, but if you pay attention, it's a little bit of a different print function. It has these three quotation marks, right? And then you actually have the entire art here, and then it closes. Now the difference here is that if you want to like print something, for example, if you print like a text, right? If you print a text, whatever you put inside, it's not going to transfer to the next line. The way you actually do this, if you want to like cover an entire area with a print function, what you would do is you use this thing called single quotation mark. So triple single quotation marks, and that's what they do. They essentially allow you to cover an entire area. So if I do this, 1 2 3, here we go, and 1 2 3, here we go. So essentially this is going to allow me to cover an entire area with print. See? So it's pretty cool. Again, it's a pretty useful thing in this case. You're rarely going to be using this, but in case if you have to, that's how you do it. And this is how I was able to put the ASCII art in middle of this thing. So let me talk a little bit about ASCII arts. So ASCII arts, I'm going to leave a link for you guys in the resources section as well. You can actually access this website where you can find ASCII art. So ASCII arts is, again, as I said, they're made with characters, and you can literally copy them and paste it in your code if you want to find something different, and if you want to create your own story, because that's what we're doing here. In this case, I have my own story, but if you want, you can actually get creative and create your own story game. So this is an ASCII art, and again, you can find a lot of interesting stuff here. For example, you can find a lot of other characters and everything you want to build. All right, so here's this. So the second thing I want to talk about is the game itself. So the game itself is essentially a storybook game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept, but there used to be these books a long time ago where you would follow a story, you would read through, and you would make choices, and those choices would refer you to like a different page on that book where you would just find what happened because you made that choice or something like that. So again, it's kind of a story-driven kind of game, and this is fun fact. This type of game was actually the first kind of game that was ever made in a computer program. So in computer world. So this was one of the first games that there was ever made. Essentially, like the story-driven game, which you choose something and then it gives you an answer based on your choice. So just something fun for you to think about. But yeah, anyway, so we got the game here, and I want to talk about the diagram. I actually put the link in the resources section to the diagram as well. You can actually access that. And here's what I'm thinking. And again, I want you to actually create your own story if you want, all right? But you can copy this for your own practice if you want. But again, it would be fun if you create your own fun story. So we start the game, and then it starts with saying you have found an abandoned alien spaceship. What do you do? And you got two options, wait or enter. So if you wait, it says it's gonna say a patrol group of aliens found you. It's outside of the ship. You're dead. Enter, and then you go in, and it says you got in before an alien patrol came across. you see a few weapons above a rusty shelf. What do? So you climb or wait, and if you climb, you die. You know, shelves crumbled as you climbed and you died, or you wait. As you waited, you found a stick you hit the box with. A box fell in front of you. There are weapons inside the box. Which one you choose? Red, black, gray, and red is going to be self-destructed. Black is going to have a GPS, which are going to allow the aliens to find you, and then gray is the weapon that you need. So again, this is a simple thing, and a bit of a backstory I just put right here. Now, welcome to the alien human game. Earth is under alien invasion, and your job is to find an ancient alien weapon to help humans win. So that's our game, right? And again, as you see, we have a lot of if and else statements. And that's the whole point of this practice. I want you to just think about how do you actually make this, and how do you set up these else statements. And also you can choose a lot of elif statements, right? Think about it. In the like, also obviously you can do if and else with all of these, right? But if you actually think about it, with this last one, which has like 3 options, you can do elif statements, right? So anyways, that's just something I wanted to point out. That's something that you can create. It would be really fun to create something like this. I want you to get a little bit creative for yourself, and let me know what you did. All right. So again, the code is right here. Fork the original code, and let's get it started. So I'm going to give you a second. You can pause the video, or you can start coding this for yourself, and I'll see you after that pause. All right, so hopefully you try to code it a little bit. I know this can be a little bit challenging, mainly because one of the things about this particular practice is that, or this project, is that it is pretty challenging with the indentations, and that's something I want you to understand very well, and that's something I want you to master with this lesson. All right, that indentations are pretty important. The spacing between your if and else characters and everything. So it's really something important that I want you to take away from this lesson. So that's why we're doing this. So let's get it started. And one of the things I want you to remember, that you're going to see even me make mistakes here. Again, the indentations are everything with this particular practice. All right. So choice 1, I'm just going to start with a simple variable. We're just going to say input, and we're going to say you have found. I'm just going to copy it actually from here, so we don't waste our time typing. All right. So we're just going to say you found an abandoned alien spaceship. What do? We're just going to say type enter, or wait. All right. So one thing I want to mention here, which is very important to remember, is that we want to make sure that we catch their answer no matter what they type when it comes to enter and the way they type it. So it's important to have the lowercase method. So I'm just going to add the lower, and the idea with this is this is going to turn it into all lowercase. That's very, very important. All right. So next we're going to go create our first if statement. All right. So we're going to say if choice 1 double equals, right, enter. And we're going to say, well, we're just gonna, for now, we're just gonna have a print here, okay? But we'll get back to this because I want to create the else statement for this. That's very, very important. So I'm just gonna go all the way because I want to create some space. Else, we're just gonna say else equals print, right? And we're gonna copy the this part. I'm just gonna say group of aliens found you outside of the ship, you're dead. All right, so we're just going to copy that. Here we go. So we got our first if and else statement. All right, so obviously we're going to replace this because we're asking for a second question, right? So if they go here, they're dead. If they enter, right, that's what we enter, that's what we specified here, enter, you want to send them to this, which is you got before an alien patrol came across the road, or you got in before an alien patrol crosses the road. You see a few weapons above a rusty shelf. What do? All right, so let's copy this. I'm just gonna define a new variable here. Okay, we're gonna say choice 2. All right, that's very important. Just gonna say choice 2 equals, or actually equal, right? That's let's just define it first. Input, we're going to say we're gonna put the message here. So you got in before an alien patrol crosses the road. You see a few weapons above a rusty shelf. What do? So we just give him, let's give him options. Type climb or wait. All right. Now again, make sure it's lower. So we're just gonna make sure it is lowercase. All right. So that's our choice 2, right? Now what we want to do, which is very important, is add the else for this as well. Again, like it can get really confusing if you go all the way. So I just want to make sure we do this. All right. So I'm just going to say else, and as you see, it automatically goes. Actually, it doesn't. But yeah, so we want to make sure that we go on the same level as choice 2. Okay. Well, actually, let's not do that yet. I'm getting confused myself. All right. So choice 2, we got that. All right. So now we want to define something, which is very important. If choice 2 equals double equals, right? Wait. Let's make sure we got that correct. Wait. Now we're going to type the next step. So if you remember, we're going to say the choice 2 here. It's if it's wait, we go to the next. If it doesn't, they're going to crumble essentially. Okay. So let's just make sure we do that. So I'm going to define the else for the choice 2. We're just going to put a fake print here, so we know like we got to type the next step here. But I'm just going to put else, and I see it brings it down to the if the level of the if, right? So I'm just going to put print. So here we go. So we got our second print. So it says the shelves crumbled and you as you climbed and you died. So that's that. So we got our choice 2. It says wait. All right. So now we got to define another variable, because remember guys, when they say wait, we got to go here, right? So they're going to see another question. So let's just copy this one. We're just going to say choice 3 equals input, and we're just going to type our question. As you waited, you found a stick to hit the box with. The box fell in front of you. There are weapons inside the box. Which one you choose? So we're just going to give them options. Type red, black, or gray. Here we go. All right. So we got our choice 3 input, right? So now we're saying that if choice 3 double equals, now red, we're going to say print it's self-destructed, right? If I'm right, that was the, yeah, there you go. It's self-destructed and you died. All right, we'll just copy that. Now here we're gonna use Elif statements, all right? Because we have a few options, right? Red, black, gray. All right, so I'm just gonna say Elif, and I see it kind of indents it automatically with with the next one, with the if essentially. If choice 3 equals black, we're gonna print. Let's make sure indented correctly. Here we go. We're gonna print, what was the option for, there you go. GPS system, they found you, right? And we're going to have another elif, which is gonna say choice 3 double equals, and we're gonna say gray. All right, we're gonna say print, and let's see, what do we, there you go, you found the weapon. All right, so that's, and you won the game. All right, so that's that. So one more thing we want to have, which I've been thinking about, is that when we get to this point, I want to make sure that they have the option, if they enter something that is just not a part of these like options. What do we do about this? So I'm just gonna add an else here. Okay, so again, we got the if level, which is like choice 3, right? So we're just gonna have another else here, and I'm gonna say, my thinking with this is that I'm gonna say, we're gonna say print, you choose an invisible weapon which ended up killing you. All right, so again, I just want to point this out. This is really, really important. I want to have like some sort of option if they do not enter something that we have here, right? Because think about it, in the choice 2, okay, where they were right here, right? We said that, hey, choose something. You either can climb up the shelf or wait. So if they wait, they're gonna continue to the next level, right? But if they don't, if you take a look at the else, the shelf crumbles and you die. So like that's really important. Like we have some sort of else to close this off. You don't have to have an else if you remember, but it's just good to have it to kind of clean it up. Now guys, one of the things I want to mention, which is very important, is essentially your indentation is everything when it comes to really complicated if and else statements. So if you have made mistakes, remember, it's probably 90% of the times it's because you got your indentations wrong. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's take a look at the code. Let's run it and let's see how it looks. All right, so I'm just gonna make this bigger. It's already running. Oh, is it? I don't know what's happening. All right, let's run it. So it's gonna run. Here we go. So you have found an abandoned alien spaceship. What do? Type wait or enter. I'm just gonna say enter so we go through the game. All right. You got in before an alien patrol crosses the road. You see a few weapons above a rusty shelf. What do? Type climb or wait. I'm just gonna say wait, because we know what's gonna happen in this game, right? As you waited, you found a stick to hit the box with. The box fell in front of you. There are weapons inside the box. Which one you choose? Type red, black, or gray. We're gonna say gray to win the game. Here we go. You found the weapon and you won the game. Perfect. So guys, that's pretty much it for this practice. Again, I just want you to kind of be more proficient with if and else statement. This was a pretty complicated one, honestly. You know, it was an extremely complicated one. But I wanted us to do something fun like this, so you can like really test yourself on these if and else statements and like indentations, because they're everything in programming. All right, so let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you let me know how did you do. Let me know if you actually made something interesting with this. You know, if you did something creative, you made your own story. That's something I recommend doing. Like create your own story and have some fun with it. Also, you can find the completed project file as well in the resources section. So take a look at it. You can take a look at the code if you need to, and I'll see you later on.